My interest in aviation goes back as far as I can remember. I was 10 or 11 years old building plastic models of P-39s, and my interest in aviation just grew over the years. And that interest led to me getting a job with Transport Canada working with meteorology. That meant working at airports throughout the country. My wife and I decided, well, maybe we should pack up and apply for a job in the north where we could save a few dollars and move south in a year or so and put a down payment on a house. So I applied for a job at Watson Lake, Yukon. After I got to Watson Lake, I met a couple of guys that had worked there during the war, and they would tell me stories of the P-39s lining up at Watson Lake Airport by the hundreds when the weather would go bad. They couldn't get any further west for a few days. I can remember a story of P-63 Airacobra. That's the big brother of the P-39 that had crashed on the island in the middle of Watson Lake. So I had to go and check this out. So sure enough, I found pieces all over, strewn all over the area, still left over from the war. We went to Watson Lake to spend a year and then moved south with all this money we were going to make. But the Yukon has a way of just grabbing hold of you and not letting go. So 49 years later, I was still in Watson Lake. I had always been on the lookout for P-39 wrecks. There have been numerous P-39s crash in the Watson Lake area. But like looking for a needle in a haystack, I never found anything. The Department of Tourism in Whitehorse was also interested in doing the same thing. And they got hold of me and talked about it, and I informed them that they'd never find anything that was rebuildable. So I suggested to them that I could build them one out of wood, a full-scale replica out of wood. After, probably 3.5 years and maybe about 2,000 hours, I gave them a reasonable facsimile of a P-39, which they mounted on a pedestal at the Signpost Forest in Watson Lake along the Alaska Highway. I retired probably 4 years ago after 49 years in the Yukon, moved back to Edmonton. 2018, I heard about the open cockpit day here at the museum. So my brother-in-law and I decided to come down and have a look, see what was going on. And I learned that they were rebuilding a P-39 in the restoration area here. So I came over and had a look, and that was it. I was hooked. At first, it was pretty overwhelming because I didn't know how to read blueprints or I had a bit of experience at riveting and cutting aluminum, but not like here. And after the first 6 months of just trying every little bits and pieces and learning how to read blueprints, it started getting easier and easier, and now it's easy. Completion's probably not going to be for at least another 5 years going at the rate we are right now. There's probably 6 guys here that contribute regularly. And again, I figure it'll take at least another 5 years. I'm retired and I just get tired of sitting around home. I've done all my yard work and everything else that has to be done around there, so 3 days a week I like to come down here and spend 4 or 5 hours just bashing aluminum.